Adam, what are you doing cutting down trees?
Listen, I like trees as much as the next guy, just not in our prairies. To maintain these open grassland habitat, we have to periodically come in and thin out our weedy tree species, like these walnuts and our box elders.
And here are some of the tree species that Adam has been coming across. This one, some of you might recognize, with its many spiny balls, is sweet gum. And a good way to tell it is that it has individual leaves alternating on the stem. And the stem, you can see here, it's sometimes a little bit of green color to the youngest part of the stems, going down into the older parts, where it can then sometimes have these winged appendages coming off of them. Here we have mulberry, which species I do not know, but all of our mulberries are pretty weedy, and there's also an invasive one, but you can see here it is also alternating along the stem, and there's quite a variety of leaf shapes, so a lot of variability in its leaf shapes. And some of our willows can be pretty weedy and popping out into our sunny exposed grasslands. If the moisture is just right for their seeds to germinate. This one is also alternate on the stem. Redbud can be an invader as well, especially along areas that are partially wooded, so along the edges of prairies. And they have those big heart-shaped leaves alternating also on the stems, and it can have this very prominent zigzag pattern to its stems. We also have here these very large leaves, sycamores, again alternate on the stem. And then it can have these little winged appendages at the nodes. And probably one of our most common trees to pop up out in the prairies are the walnuts. So trying to turn the prairies into savanna-like settings, which would ultimately then turn into woodlands if fire or some kind of grazing or mowing regimen would not be there to prevent them from coming in. Again, alternate on the stem, and these have compound leaves. So right here, this is an individual leaf with lots of leaflets. And then two opposite branching trees that are really weedy here at Litzinger. Box elder, so this is opposite on the stem. You can see the leaves coming out opposite at this one spot. And they have compound leaves, which can sometimes look like poison ivy, but poison ivy is alternating on the stem. And you can see here another key feature on these young stems of box elder is this green color. And the last one that's quite weedy is our ash trees here. And they are also, I don't know if you can see it here, opposite on the stem, so the leaves coming out across from each other, and they are again just like the walnut and the box elder, compound leaves. So this is an individual leaf with lots of leaflets. Yep, and that's some of the worst culprits of hopping out into our grasslands and edge of grassland trees. And some of you may be thinking, well, I really like trees, I really like woodlands, and that's fine. They have their place. They are very valuable and important too. but they are still quite numerous in our region. We have removed so many of the prairies within our area due to agriculture and development, and these places are incredibly important. The prairies that we have restored or reconstructed, they are homes to so many unique pollinators and birds and so many other things that rely on such an open grassland habitat. So to maintain these beautiful open areas, we have to manually go in, remove these trees and shrubs, either physically or mechanically, or do prescribed burns, because we have removed the controls that nature had keeping trees and shrubs in check, whether they be native trees or the introduced species that we have brought into this continent, the invasive exotic species. So we've disturbed the land, and so now it's up to us to be stewards of the land that we have disturbed, to try and manage it for the wildlife that relies upon it. Hey everyone. As many of you know, our colleague here at Litzinger, Eddie Jones, is in the hospital, and all the staff, all the volunteers here really miss him, and we know that he's in the thoughts of everyone that he's interacted with. And I'm just down here at the creek at probably one of Eddie's favorite spots. It's nice and peaceful here, and I thought I'd just share a minute of being down here at the beach, where we can all just sit and think about Eddie and send good thoughts and prayers to his family as they work through this.